Wait, hold on. Okay, this is a cut. The average Hollywood film in 1930 had 405 cuts. The average film today, 2,568 cuts. Clearly, the trend has moved towards shooting more shots per scene and cutting more frequently in the edit. Why? Because it's an easy way to CYA. Cover your ass. And the more shots you have, the more times you cut, the easier it is for filmmakers and studios to hide or fix problems in the edit. Sometimes this is a powerful stylistic choice. Sometimes. Usually, it's just plain lazy filmmaking. That's why the best filmmakers usually cut less in their films. So today, I'm gonna remove this crutch and challenge myself to shoot a whole film in only 3 shots. And I don't mean complicated Birdman oneers that take the place of a bunch of shots. I mean 3 moments, 3 images. Is it possible to tell a moving story in 3 very simple shots? I think so, and I think it will make for an ultimately stronger film with much more intention behind every shot. And I think it will be so much easier to make that I can do it right now. So first we have to write a story. This is gonna be the hardest part of this challenge because it has to be so condensed but still create that emotional reaction for the audience. But that's good because simple short films are the strongest anyways. You know, there's a short story often misattributed to Ernest Hemingway that has the distinction of being the shortest story ever published. It's only 6 words long. For sale, baby shoes, never worn. I mean, it works, right? It makes you feel something. But notice that the actual words of the story are just 3 facts. There's no characters or wants or obstacles. The true story lies in between each of these sentences. And your mind just fills in all these gaps. So instead of telling the full story, it suggests it. And that's what I think short films should do. They should be suggestive of a fuller story of a bigger world, but in and of themselves, they should just be one single moment, a single decision, a single problem, a single character, whatever it is. The scope should be limited to one thing. More mystery, less history when it comes to short films. That's what I want. So I'll use the method I teach in my instant short film blueprint course for this, since I want to be able to just shoot this thing immediately. So I'll be working backwards from the resources I have, the log line, and the ending to figure out the story. So in terms of resources, I'm not spending any money on this thing. I'm not bringing on any people for this thing. Our actors are gonna be limited to me and my cats. Our locations are my house, the yard. So now let's start thinking about our log lines. So a log line can be boiled down to simply a blank wants blank, but blank. So a robot wants love, but kills everybody he touches. That kind of thing. So knowing that we only have me and my cats to work with, that's gonna simplify our logline forming process. So why don't we just come up with some different types of characters I could play, and we'll whittle this down a little bit. Okay, and then let's figure out some wants. How about love, friend, pet, coffee, but evil cat, dirty house, end of the world, can't move. We don't have a lot of room to explain or set up anything. You just have to understand it immediately. So it might be hard to show things like a friend or love. Now let's look at the butts. Evil cat, I mean, I definitely got some evil cats. Dirty house is great because that's just visual that can be shown in one shot with the character in it. That's why I'm really actually leaning towards just having it be a man. Might be easiest to have me just want one of these things, like if I just want to relax, because you could just show me lying down on the couch trying to chill out. So a man wants to relax, but there's a dirty house. So I like this flow, but then how do I get a good ending out of that? Setup, conflict, tension, build, and release. Let's have it be a guy that's got some kind of very clear problem that you can instantly see, and the stakes are there from the jump. Death is always a great stake. He could be trying to kill himself. It could be like the beginning of a suicide story. You know, the house is a mess and maybe he cleans the house to get out of that funk. It starts with suicide attempt / setup, and it ends with cleaning the house. And in the middle, maybe he tries to carry out what he's setting up and act in the first frame, but he can't do it because the house is dirty. So maybe we say in this first one, he's on the couch. He's going to drink and have some pills, but he sees the glass is dirty and he just completely gives up on that. The second frame, he goes to get a new glass, but there aren't any. The sink is full, so he just does the dishes. And then third shot, we've now gotta resolve what we set up here. He's not gonna go through with it. He's gonna give up and just start thoroughly cleaning the house. Okay, so that's it. We have our story. And the beauty of only having 3 shots is that it's basically shot listed itself already pretty much, but I'll go ahead and storyboard them because if we're only doing 3 shots, we want each one to not just sing visually, but carry the narrative storytelling load with grace. We've got our guy on the couch here. He's got the notes. He's got some pills, he's got some whiskey or something in a rocks glass. That's our setup. And then kind of hard to tell what's going on, but I'm thinking sort of a high angle looking down from inside a kitchen cabinet, sort of like what I did in my Witchfish short. In the background, he turns around, he sees the sink full of dirty dishes over here. And then finally, just a shot from back behind the couch. Looking out, you see the sink in the background, the dishes are clean now, and he throws the note in a little trash bin, and then he just keeps cleaning. So how can we make sure that all 3 of these shots are striking and effective? Well, I'll need some inspiration. But we can't just wait around for inspiration to fly in like the Tooth Fairy and tuck perfect ideas under our pillows, can we? Artists have to actively hunt and forage for inspiration. But do you know what great artists do? Steal. But because our standards are high and our time is short, let's steal some inspiration from this video's sponsor, Frameset, and then make it my own. Okay, so for this first shot, I want something like my storyboard maybe, some key props in the foreground, me in the background. But how can we make this shot not only tell the story, but create visual interest? Well, I'm gonna search for man on couch, coffee table, and see what we get. This is a little more of what I was thinking, just wider. Add in close-up. That's basically the vibe we want, more or less. That looks nice. Not bad. Ah, here's another way to do it. What if we did it from behind the character? Interesting. So Frameset is a massive library of strong visuals from all kinds of films and videos that you can search through and pull references from for mood boards, pitch decks. I'm far from a master of lighting, so I searched through night interiors on Frameset, quickly found like 40 awesome images I could try to replicate the look of in my iPhone short film Witchfish. By the way, this service is free to use for 10 searches a day, so try it out, and if it helps your workflow as much as it helps mine, you can get 10% off their pro plan with the link in my description. So thank you, Frameset. Here's the references that I pulled, and it's already pushing me in some interesting directions. I'm getting pretty inspired. For example, I didn't even think about the fact that we don't necessarily need to see this character's face the entire time, and it might be stronger if we don't. And even in the first shot, you know, having a shot that's sort of a close-up of the coffee table like this, maybe he's just totally out of focus. Let's take this and put him into action. Let's shoot this thing. All right, here's the idea. FX30, Sigma 10 to 18 millimeter wide lens. Hollyland Pyro 5 is gonna be our monitor and transmitter. I'll throw that on this mini Ulanzi tripod up in the cabinet looking down, and then I can monitor with the Pyro 7. Let's see how this goes. Oh, is that gonna fit? Oh, it barely fits. Okay. Oh, you know what? We need a light. Let's get a light coming from out here. Quick and dirty, we're just gonna set up a light out here pointing through this window. And I'm using my favorite light for quick setups, the RC220B Pros from Small Rig. Should probably get a sandbag for that guy. That's it, that's the setup. No wires, no nothing. It's giving us some shadows over here. And I think it's just drawing a little more attention. All right, we're gonna try a second light indoors to just bring up the fill and reduce how blown out these windows are. It looks a little cruddy because they take up a lot of the frame. On an air fryer, on a trash can. If it's stupid but works, it's not stupid. Close this, open it, good. I think we're ready to shoot. Okay, great. Okay, I've set up what I think is a pretty good opening frame here. I've got the couch forming sort of a border around the right and bottom of the frame. I'm stealing that inspiration from Frameset to just focus on the table and kind of conceal myself. I'm gonna be looking at this monitor while I'm doing the action up here. I've got my glass dirtied with some peanut butter, letter props, everything's looking good. I'm probably gonna get one shot at getting this right because I don't want to deal with wet pills, so pressure's on. Oh boy, let's see if that worked. I've got a frame that I'm kind of liking for the ending here. It was my birthday yesterday, my girlfriend decorated, and I was thinking maybe I should take this streamer and hang it up in the background of the shot, and then that would just suggest more of this character's backstory and what's going on. It would just pose more questions for the audience. I like that. The lighting was feeling a little dull and not punchy enough, so I added this RC220B, once again, just blasting daylight out into the room. All right, this is with the light on, kind of amping up what the window's doing. This is with it off. Oh, there's Tony.
Man.
All right, I laid all the clips in, picked the best takes, trimmed them down, and in 5-10 minutes, I'm picture locked. I added some sound effects here, just a bit of sound design, didn't go too crazy. I leaned a little more on the music, found these 2 tracks from Music Bed, whose music I've been really impressed by lately. I actually linked a playlist of tracks I found on there that I think would be fun to edit to below, check that out. And now we're ready for color. And if you saw my last video where I taught myself color grading in DaVinci Resolve in 7 days, you know I'm excited to put those new skills to their first real world test here. And that's it, a short film in a day from beginning to end. Enjoy and then stick around after it plays for some of my favorite 3-shot films created by members of my online film school Wrapped in 30 Days. I'll play that right after mine. What did you think? I feel like it reveals a lot about the character, suggests a lot about his life, all without actually telling you anything. That was my goal anyway. So I have 3 more 3-shot films to show you, the top 3 entries in a contest I ran and Wrapped in 30 Days. The winner got a 1-year subscription to MusicBed's small business plan, so the stakes were high. I didn't judge them by production value, I judged them for their storytelling. How much can you say with 3 simple short shots? So we'll start with the 3rd place film. Whoops, Kent from The Edit jumping in with this voiceover. 3rd place ended up being a tie, 1 had copyrighted music, so you'll find the links to the full films in the description, but congrats to Glenn Lawrence and Howie McCormick. And here's the 2nd place film.
Don't screw this up. Remember, it has to look like an accident.
Yeah, I remember. Look, I gotta go. I gotta take care of that thing.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, I heard about your promotion. I thought we should have a drink to your success.
Yeah, what can I say? Let me put my stuff down.
Okay.
Let me grab a
Hey,
glass. real
cheers. I
quick.
just wanted to...
Been saving this
Actually,
one for a
I made
special
this
occasion.
for you. Okay, play it off. Just take a sip.
And here was my favorite of the 3-shot films. Stick around after because I have a proposition for you.
Rinja.
Papa, wat is er gebeurd? Ik zie niets.
Het werkt.
Maar papa, ik voel me zo raar. Waar ben ik?
Ik weet het, schatje. We gaan nog even moeten gaan slapen, hè? Papa ziet u graag.
Ik jou.
Big thanks to everybody who took a shot at this little filmmaking challenge. Now I want to challenge you to do the same thing. Try to tell a story in 3 shots. It's a small commitment of your time, shouldn't take more than a day to shoot and edit. The writing is the real challenge, and it's a fun puzzle to try to crack. I guarantee if you give it a shot, it's gonna strengthen your storytelling muscles and make all the other films you do a little bit better. So throw it on YouTube, tag me in the description at Standard Storyco so I don't miss it. I will feature the films that I like in an upcoming newsletter, maybe even a follow-up video here in the channel, so we'll get some extra eyes on your work. And if you're struggling with the script part, I made this video that shows you how to simplify your short film writing, so give that a watch. All right, your turn. Let's make some movies.